Brady, first of all, I was talking to Eli, in the media room over there about expectations this offseason. Obviously, the fans have a lot of them in the success of last season. How do you guys kind of manage that as a team, all those outside expectations now?
Yeah, I think just recognizing they're there. I mean, we're all aware the expectations are higher than they've ever been for our team, but so is our standard, too, inside the building. And as long as that standard matches the expectations and we can kind of block that out while still doing the work we need to do, staying focused like we need to do, and just taking it week by week, I think we'll be in a good spot.
Brady, how much do you and Lou in particular talk about how much you guys are putting on for the St. Louis area athletes and how that's kind of affected recruiting as far as getting more in-state players to come to Missouri?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just know, right? Like, me and Luther don't even need to say it to each other. We know the impact we're making on St. Louis and the fan base in recruiting and the future Mizzou teams to come. And, we know at the end of the day it's going to come down to us keeping our connection as tight as ever and going and making plays this fall.
Have you kind of felt that momentum, shift? Does it feel like it's a more popular option to represent your home state now?
Yeah, definitely. I think last season plays a big part of it, just the fact that we were able to go out and get over that hump and win some of those games where in the past we might have dropped, right? And coming up clutch in certain situations, K-State game, revenge game with Tennessee, the Florida 2-minute, finishing the season on top in the Cotton Bowl, coming back versus Kentucky after being down 14 points. So getting over that hump, winning those games plays a huge role. It just gives the whole state momentum.
Brady, what do you guys need to do this year, kind of like how you made the change from 22 to 23, winning those one-score games or coming back and stuff like that? What do you guys need to do this year to get even better?
Yeah, I think it starts in training camp. Like, that's what set us apart last year is we practice situations so often, and we practice them intentionally. Like, in fall camp last year, we went through 2-minute, we went through fourth downs, we went through third downs, we went through different red zone situations, and it paid off. It shows up every single year. So I think it starts in a couple weeks, being intentional at fall camp and how we're treating those situations and how we're getting everybody on the same page because it's going to show up, and that's what games come down to.
Brady, I want to tap into your Missouri fandom here for a second. Is it easier for you to understand what fans are feeling about this season because you went through it as a fan yourself at different times as a Missouri fan?
Yeah, like I think back to 2013, 2014 when Mizzou, new to the SEC, but winning games, winning big games, winning the East. I was a fan throughout those times, so I was coming down to those big games. I felt the hype. I felt the offseason hype too, and it's special, man. I know what the fans are feeling. It's going to be exciting, and it's just around the corner.
Speaking of your history with Mizzou, you committed to the program as a junior in high school, now going into your final season as quarterback. What are you feeling, and what do you hope to leave as your legacy as a Tiger?
Yeah, this is my last opportunity. I've always dreamed of being the quarterback and, having another opportunity like this. It's year 5 for me. It's all there on the table. I got to go take it. I'm going to leave it all out there. I hope to leave a legacy that people will remember forever in the state of Missouri. It's been a dream of mine, and it's right there in front of me. Just got to go earn it this year.
Kind of building on that, what do you feel like, is something people can learn from your story at the University of Missouri?
I think just the grit coming in in 2020, brand new coach, brand new team, coming into a team where we haven't really had a lot of success. The first 3 years were really hard. There were some tough times, 500 seasons. Maybe the fan base didn't quite believe in me, didn't quite believe in the team. And to get over that hump, to overcome that, that's going to take me a long way. I learned so much in those first 3 years at Mizzou. And it helped me last season. It helped me win games. It gave me confidence, just the experiences I went through in those first 3 years. And I think other people could learn from that too.
Brady, I heard you in there talking about Coach Drink's comments after the Kansas State game and how that kind of maybe evolved or advanced things for you. But, when you look back at your entire time working with Coach Drink, where have you seen him maybe evolve or grow just since you've been working with him?
Yeah, I told him this not too long ago. Something that stuck out to me is just, first of all, we came in together in 2020, to a completely mixed up locker room with people that committed to a different coach, people that played for a different coach, and all of that, and just somehow, him being able to bring people in the building, coaches or players that complement us, fit the culture, and shaping this into his team and shaping this into a winning culture. I mean, it's been unbelievable to witness all of it. And like you said, just after the K-State game, the comments he made, having my back, I mean, that gave me an incredible amount of confidence going into the rest of the season. I knew, this is ride or die. We're going to go do this thing. We're going to win games together. I know my head coach has my back. My team has my back, and that means a lot to me.
Was that true of the locker room at large, or where do you feel like the culture that was there at the end of last year, where do you think that kind of had its origin or maybe took its biggest step?
Yeah, I think there was some key leaders on that team last year. Cody Schrader, Darius Robinson, Tyron Hopper, Javon Foster, Xavier Delgado, a lot of those key pieces, they were there for the tough times. They were there for the 500 seasons, and they stuck it out. They built that culture. They built that team, and it led us to some wins last year.
When you think back to your headspace after that first game, the loss at Kansas State in 22, did you think anything like what the excitement is now was possible when you were right after that game?
I think so. Somewhere down deep inside of me, I knew it was possible. That's why I stuck it out. It was hard to imagine at that point in time, especially after that K-State game. I was not in a good spot physically, mentally, with the team, and to get through that, to make it through the storm, and have the year we had last year, it means a lot.
Brady, being one of the only returning veterans, how have you seen the new leaders of this year's group kind of take shape and fill kind of the voices that Cody Schrader and Darius Robinson left on this program?
Yeah, I mean, those are big leaders we lost. But I've seen it. I think I've taken that next step as a leader. I think the wide receiver room as a unit has been incredible. Just the way they've been, the way they've operated. The guys up front, they're leading that room themselves right now. With Marcus coming in, Caden coming in, they're gelling great. They're all working together. On the defensive side, obviously we lost Darius Robinson. He was an incredible leader. But guys are stepping up. I see it. I see it from Joe Charleston. I see it from Trevez Johnson. I see it from Johnny Walker Jr. Our linebacker room is really tight. They've been impressive. So obviously we lost a lot of great leaders in 2023, but we've got guys stepping up right now.
When you look at a 12-team playoff, to have a few more opportunities to be able to make it to that point, does that kind of build excitement amongst the team in the locker room? Yeah, I think it just, it's just a bigger opportunity. I think everybody in college football feels that. I think it raises the level of energy, the level of excitement and belief from a lot of teams, knowing that it's not 4 spots you're fighting for, it's 12. So that's there. That's in everyone's mind. Whether you say it or not. So it's exciting. It's the first year to do it. So we'll see what happens.
Appreciate you, Brady.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brady.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Sit down, I want to ask you a question.
All right.
This will be good, y'all. Ready?
Time for one more.
Brady, today, when you stepped off of the bus, you realized you forgot your coat on the plane. What level of panic? Was it close to the 2-minute drive for K-State, or about the same?
It was close. And I got off the bus. I looked at Christian, and I said, "Hey, Christian, you made sure they got our jacket, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's in the back." I went back, opened the trunk, and it's just empty. So at that moment, it was similar to the K-State game and the Florida game.
Yeah. The only thing is, I recognize a little what I call BCD.
Dang it, I knew you were going to get me on.
Poor performance there. Isn't it your responsibility to make sure your jacket is on the bus?
That's a great point, and that's on me. I BCD'd there. Can't do it. Next time, I need to make sure my jacket is on the bus for media days. Fair enough.
Now, isn't that content y'all wrong? Huh?